I'm looking for clarity, helping to clear up my vibration around issues with my family.
Can't get there.
I know.
Can't get to clarity from issues. A whole different end of the stick. But you know what clarity is? Clarity is, let's say that you meditated and you got into that quieted place and you got an impulse. Well, that impulse will lead to something, will lead to something, will lead to something. And in time, there'll be clarity. A clear impulse will come to you. Once you've meditated, you'll feel a clear impulse. It will feel like something that you really want to do. But the thing is, it won't be a satisfying answer to you because it won't be a clear answer to what's bothering you because you can't get there yet. But you will get clarity. So you have to be willing to accept clarity on off topics that will lead to clarity on that topic. Did you hear that? That's so important because what you said and what you meant weren't the same thing. You said, I want clarity. We really like that. You can get clarity so easily. But what you meant is, I want clarity on a subject that I've really got momentum going and has me all balled up and wadded up and is far, far from clarity. But I want clarity. And we say, just ask for clarity. And you can do that easily. You see, if you really wanted clarity, you could stay off that topic. There are lots of topics that you could focus upon where you have clarity. Think about that. I want clarity about this thing I don't have clarity about. That's not even possible. But if you can say, I'll just take clarity, I'll just take general clarity, I'll take off-topic clarity, I'll take the sensation of clarity, because everything that you want, no matter what it is, an improvement in family relationships, doesn't matter what it is, everything that you want it because you believe you will feel better in having it. So clarity is certainly feeling better, isn't it? Clarity is feeling better. Clarity just feels better. So can you hear this?
I can. My question...
You're really not hearing it, so we're just going to wrestle you to the ground a little bit here. So will you admit that you're really not looking for clarity? Because if you were looking for clarity, we can take you right to it. We could get you to focus upon that really unusual and very quite lovely chandelier. This is a light fixture it's big and it's bold and it's just right for this room. And if you would focus upon it long enough, you would feel about it like we do. We have clarity about that. We can't think of a better fixture to be in this room than that one. Sometimes they are dangly ones and they rattle in the air conditioning. That's just exceptionally good. Now, it's annoying to you because you want to go to the topic that you want clarity about. But if you'll be real with us and say, I'll take clarity, then we say, will you be willing to change the subject? Because if you want clarity, you got to change the subject. And once you get clarity, you can work your way back into that subject. You have to go to clarity and then stay there long enough that you own clarity, that clarity is you, that you are clarity. And then in time, you can think about anything with clarity. But if you want to take this subject to clarity, you can't get there.
Is that why I got the big wobble? Because I felt I was there. I felt...
Yeah.
That despite...
Because what you think you're doing is not what you're doing. But today is a new day. Everything that we said today, even though some of the words sound familiar, was to help you to realize that you have to put separation between what you're asking for and the receiving mode. And if you're so balled up in what you need the solution to, you can't get into the receiving mode. You have to put some separation between what your needs are or what your desire is. You have to put some separation. You've got to give that vibration a rest. And most people don't know that. They think that, well, I'll work on this. I'll think about it. I'll write notes about it. I'll talk to other people about it. I'll talk to everybody about it. In fact, I'll join online groups about it. I'll think about it. I'll lay in my bed at night and I'll think about it. And we'll say, and you just keep practicing the vibration of where it is. You just keep practicing the muddle. So if you want clarity, got to think about something that doesn't have a muddle. And you got to stay on those subjects, those muddleless subjects long enough that you've got clarity, that you're really flowing and that you know it. And then you could focus upon any subject and maintain your clarity.
And that's been my challenge. When my family has...
So, do you see what you're doing? It's fun to watch, isn't it? You'd like it if you were out there and somebody else was doing this. So we say, let's go over here. And you say, but first, let's go over here. And then we say, you got to go over here. And you say, but that's my problem. I want over here.
Okay, so just let it go.
You got no choice. The way you're going at it, it's just going to get bigger and 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 less clear 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 and less clear.
So just don't care.
Well, be nice. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So it's too late for you to not care. You've already cared. You've already put a big time request that your inner being is all over here with clarity. You have to find a way to let that subject be less active within you, or focus on a subject where it's easy to feel clarity. We know it feels different than what you've mostly always done, because most people say, I've got this problem and I will focus upon this problem until I solve this problem. When what really happened is you didn't solve that problem until you just got tired of focusing on it.
And it resolved itself.
It resolved itself in response to your wanting, but it will always resolve itself. The question is, when will you let it happen? When will you let the resolution in? Because the resolution's underway, but just in this little bit of time we've been talking, we moved a little toward resolution and then you jerked it back. You see what we're getting at? Well, that's my problem. Well, that's what's wrong.
Okay.
And we said this earlier. What's going on in your life now, it feels big and it feels so real and it feels like I should talk about it. It feels like I should face the reality of it. That's the way you've all been trained. Let's face reality. And we say, well, you can, and most do, but you want the clarity of creating reality. You're tired of facing the reality that you created by default. You want to start creating the reality rather than facing the default reality. These are the words that we've been offering just for a really brief time, like a few days. You must put separation between step 1 and step 3. And that's what slows most people way, 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 way down. They are obsessed with the problem. They're obsessed with the question. Gotta find it, gotta find it, gotta find it, gotta find it. How often do you read about or hear about some really productive, really creative, what your world calls a genius, and you read that they often went off and took a little nap in the day because they knew how to put separation between the question and the answer, or the problem and the solution. And you have to do that too. Your vortex is full of wonderful solutions, but you can't get there, and it's all right. But when things aren't the way you want them to be, you take on the attitude, almost everybody does it, that something's wrong. Often it moves into, I've done something wrong. It's not where I want it to be. And then you get defensive. And it's that defensive feeling that makes you want to keep talking about it. If I could just shift the blame, I'm feeling it here, I want to shift it over there. It doesn't matter whether you feel responsible for it or you think someone else is. You're still holding yourself apart from your inner being who's not giving any blame to anybody. There's this misconception that so many people have that goes like this. In order for me to feel happy, others have to get me. They have to understand where I'm coming from. So then you just want to explain yourself incessantly to others who can't hear, because it's not their job to get you. And they're really not good at getting you.
I truly understand that.
That was snarky.
No. I'm in all sincerity.
No one's really good at getting you. Nobody is really good at getting you. But you so want to be gotten. You so want to be understood. Almost everybody is creating the image of themselves through what others are getting about them. You see, and you got to stop doing that, because most of the time they don't care. And if they do care, they have a misimpression of you. You want to see yourself through your own eyes of clarity. You want to know yourself as your inner being knows you. And you want to know others as your inner being knows you. And right now, you have quite a large difference of opinion about the way your inner being feels about you and the way you feel about you, and the way your inner being feels about them and the way you feel about them. And reconciling that vibrational difference is what clarity is. And reconciliation, reconciliation doesn't mean that you've got to go change your beliefs about all of them. It just means don't keep those beliefs active. Activate others. It would be like, let's say there's someone in your life who is truly annoying, and they seem to just deliberately try to get your goat. But along with that not pleasant trait that they have other things that you really do appreciate. You could focus upon those other things and you'd find clarity. But we don't recommend that you start with them because it's the hardest, because you've got so many habits already associated with the way you feel about them that if you start with them, you just go into that default vibration and it's very difficult. But if you can get off the topic, so what did we just say? You want to get into the receiving mode and then receive from source. But most everybody is wanting to convince them to think differently about you and the things that you care about so that you can get your information from them. And when they don't do it, because they can't do it, because they're not supposed to do it, because that's not the way it works. Do you know the people that give you the most trouble in your life are the people that on your behalf we appreciate the most? Because those really easy to get along with people, those people that just bend over backwards to give you everything that you want, they don't prepare you for your own autonomy. Your world just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You have to really work hard to find people that love you enough that they'll just make everything about you and that they'll just change themselves in all the ways that you need them to so that you can feel good. But those hard cases that don't do that, those people who just be who they are and you can like it or lump it, we think they are so helpful to you because they cause you to look for clarity in all the right places, to look for love in all the right places, you see. Sometimes people have things going on that you don't even understand fully, but you hold them responsible for the way they make you feel. Well, there's no freedom in that or clarity. You're sort of getting what we're talking about?
I am.
Helpful?
I get that. Thank you.